All right, that was an incredible look at family dynamics, and we are very proud that all of you here are part of our dynamic family of short film fans here at the Malaspina Theatre. Now, well, we're going to get set up for our Filmmaker Q&A panel here right now, but that does bring the program of films to a close for tonight. Please, a big round of applause for all of those films and the filmmakers. All right, we have three very, very special guests. They know who they are coming to the stage, and really excited to hear about their opinions on filmmaking and their films, so please get your questions ready. For a couple points to mention as we get set up for that, before you go tonight, please make sure to cast your vote for the People's Choice Award. Folks here in the theater can get a ballot from one of our volunteers and cast their vote in the lobby. You'll find the ballots and the ballot boxes on some of the stand-up tables throughout the lobby there. For the folks watching online, you will see a voting link posted into the chat on your screen here shortly. And you can also see on the voting tables a piece of paper with a QR code directing you toward a survey. So we're looking for some feedback about the festival. And of course, your information, your opinions is always worth something. So we're putting all the names of folks who enter into the survey into a draw for some some festival passes for next year. So again, take that survey, check that out. We'll also have the link on our website as well, visff.com. After we are done tonight, you are all invited, if you are 19 years of age or older, that is, to join the festival team at SIP Neighborhood Pub. It's only 3 minutes down the road for some drink and some food after the Q&A panel wraps up. And I think they have the kitchen open until 10:30 this evening, and the bar open later than that. So yeah, I hope you can join us all for a drink and a snack. Reminder, all sorts of action happening here as well at the festival. We have 2 more screenings tomorrow. Our Youth Filmmaker Showcase at 1 p.m., films done by filmmakers 18 years of age and younger. And then another lineup of 9 completely different short films for you tomorrow at 7 p.m., followed by another Filmmaker Q&A, our Goldie Awards ceremony, and a closing night after party right here in the lobby. That after party is presented by IATSE 891, and for those who don't know the acronym, that's the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. Their support is very, very much appreciated, and we're really stoked that we get to celebrate with them, and everyone in the audience tomorrow night will be welcome to join. If you don't have tickets for Saturday night yet, but are craving another night of short films, you can purchase them tonight. I believe the box office should still be open, or you can check out online at visff.com. All right, so we're going to put some of our filmmakers now here under the spotlights. Let you folks know if you do have a question, just put your hand up in the air when we'll send a runner over to you with a microphone. Reason for that is we want to make sure your question is also picked up by folks watching the live stream, and it just helps our distinguished guests hear the question on stage as well. All right, so it looks like all of our guests are here. They've got some microphones, so of course we want to test the microphones to make sure they work. So, going down the line, please introduce yourselves, say what film you were involved with, and your role with that film.
Test. Okay. Hi, I'm Aaren Rackett. I did the film Shaping a Dress. The animator, director, producer, all but the sound.
Hi, I'm Hélène Sevaux. I directed the film Four Hands about the 2 pianists, Tomuro and Philippe Entremont.
Hello, I'm Gan. You saw me on screen, so Hélène very kindly offered to make this short documentary about my mentor Philippe Entremont and I. So yes, that's how I got to be here.
All right, welcome to all 3 of you. I want to start the questions, and then I'll look to the audience for questions here. First, Aaren, I read this was your first film.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about just how the film came together.
Oh, I have been animating for quite a few years, mainly on my own. I also had big passion for historical sewing for my own clothing. So for my first film, decided to combine the two, be able to use references from my own sewing to help, grab the film.
Awesome, thank you. All right, questions from the audience. Just put your hand up in the air, and again, we'll send our runner over there. So No need to be shy. We've got some professionals on stage here. Anderson, one question. Oh, yes. All right. Question down there. We'll send the microphone your way. Thank you very much.
Hi, could you talk a bit more about the animation process and how long the whole film took to complete?
The whole film took about 2 years from conception to final finished film. It was animated like traditionally hand-drawn. About a third of it was done on paper and the other half digitally to then recreating that hand-drawn style. And used it's all animated using references of the footage of myself. Sorry. Footage of myself, sorry.
All right, awesome. All right, I had a quick question for Hélène. Philippe comes across, as you imagine, very well in the film. Was he interested in having that story of his last concert told, or did you have to convince him to take part in the project?
He said yes straight away. He's a workaholic. He would call me and say, "When are we filming again?" When it was over, he would have continued every day if he could.
Awesome, thank you. All right, more questions from the audience. Runner's looking around. Oh, we have a question. Sorry, yeah, up in the middle, right over there. Yep.
Oh, well, I'm gonna get there.
So just a personal question, if I may, again, how many languages do you speak so fluidly?
Thank you. I speak 3 fluently, so that's Japanese, English, and French. For me, French was, in all honesty, I was sort of more interested in being in France and learning French and being in that culture rather than to study with Philippe. I shouldn't say that, it's not true. But it was definitely one of the biggest reasons why I moved to France was because I wanted to be immersed in the culture and the language.
Thank you. And I'm curious to know the process of filming piano players, music making. Is that your métier, your genre?
Oh, no, I'm just interested in artists, how they make what they make, whether it's, I've done one on a painter, so I'm very interested in the process of making art.
And how many cameras would you need to be doing that?
We mostly had one, and then for the concert, we had 3. The one didn't actually work at one point, so I would say 2.
Has Philippe really hung it up, or is he still performing?
That was his last concert.
For real?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you for those questions. All right, so any other questions right down in the middle here?
Hi, I have a question for the Four Hands team. What considerations are there, like when you're being observed and filmed, does that play into what songs you're choosing to play, how you play when you're being filmed and it's part of a narrative structure? So what changes when you're being filmed versus when you would just play with him together or during your learning or that sort of thing?
Yes, of course I get very self-conscious, and I think Philippe gets self-conscious, especially with a camera. But he's so used to being recorded. I don't like recordings because I feel I have commitment issues, maybe. Feels like it's too, forever. And so, of course, I play differently. I play best when I'm alone. But Philippe was definitely, he really deserved this homage at the end of his career. And Hélène was really, it just happened miraculously. We knew each other, and she came to a performance that Philippe and I did, and she thought, okay, you guys have a really special bond and relationship. It's very rare. I mean, who in the 21st century does piano apprenticeship, So she very kindly offered to do this, and I jumped at the opportunity, and Philippe was just over the moon. And so it was a very good opportunity. We definitely did get self-conscious, I think. But that also is what made the film so special. So in its own way, it's great, yeah.
Was that your question? Was there any other? Okay, yes. Okay, thanks.
I actually have just a quick follow-up question again on that. Obviously established in the film that you met Philippe years ago. Did you learn anything new about him through the making of this film?
I think, I don't know if I learned anything that I'm conscious about, but I felt that if there is something exciting, no matter if you think your life is towards the end, you are fresh and you want to keep going. So that was a beautiful new excitement that I saw in Philippe and his eyes. So yeah, that's it.
All right, so again, a question right over there.
Is that all right? Oh, there we go. Aaren, I was just wondering why you picked that time period. Is it like a particular passion in that specific era, or was there a reason why you thought that was the era to tell your story?
So I felt it's based off the Regency era, Jane Austen. That the era of clothing is a big inspiration on what I make. And some of my favorite historical clothing, so I just want to animate them. Simple.
Oh, yeah. All right, yeah, there'll be another question in the middle, yeah.
So first, questions for Aaren. First of all, I want to say that jacket is amazing. I was looking at some of your illustrations real quickly, and you do have a couple different styles to the way you do shading and the way you draw. What made you choose the particular, because it's a very flat style you've gone for in this film. What was your reasoning for that?
So I really love Xerox era Disney movies when they weren't doing line art and polishing the lines. I really like be able to have that reminder of the artist's hand. Also, this way I'd have less pressure for such clean lines for my first film, even though I did have a pass roughing it up at the end. But it was a way to combine my artistic inspirations with taking some pressure off for such a big first project for me.
Awesome. All right, other questions? All right, yeah, over there.
Oh no, I've realized who am I going to ask the question to? I forgot on your name. The animator. Do you have another animation lined up, a project in mind?
I have just started pre-production on my next film, yes. We'll be playing with a lot of similar themes as this one, but less grounded, more theatrical in nature, but still very, very early in process for that, so we'll leave it there.
Question for Hélène. Looking at your bio, incredible professional experience in filmmaking and storytelling, acting, producing, directing, getting involved in everything from short films to Netflix series, commercial work. Well, what is it about making a documentary, and you mentioned you've made other documentaries about artists, what is it about a documentary that is interesting to you, that format?
For me, it's always a challenge, I think, because you can easily manipulate a story. So what's interesting is, in this case, bringing out a certain truth about creating, about collaborating. I could easily have done this thing or they all seem perfect, and I wanted to show moments when Philippe is, a little grumpy, and so that's what I find interesting, is, showing the truth and not being too manipulative or showing your point of view, really, because it could be a million different stories, a million different ways of showing it.
Awesome, thank you. All right, it's time for one more question. Yeah, gentleman over there.
the other films that we watched also featured piano playing quite prominently. And I'm just curious about what your thoughts or impressions were seeing how they depicted or used music in their films.
You want to answer that? I loved because I didn't, of course, we're all discovering these films together. So I was very touched that there was a musical theme to it, and especially around the piano. I think why I do piano is because there is such a thing that is communicated through that instrument, and I think that the expressions of the stories that each story explained was so unique in its own way, and the story that's told by the music it can stand on its own, but added onto that a film that just intensifies, I think, what is communicated. So I loved the other piano playing, and yeah. Is that a good enough answer?
Excellent. All right, we're just about ready to wrap up the panel here, but first, a couple quick questions. I'm just going to go down the line, ask where you traveled from to get here. And was it Alberta you traveled from to get here?
Yeah, from Calgary, but I have a lot of family here. So
Oh, right on.
making it simple.
Yeah. And Hélène and Ken, where did you travel from to get here?
I traveled from Paris, from France.
And I traveled from Tokyo, Japan.
Well, we are absolutely thrilled that the three of you were able to travel all this way. The flights, travel time, not exactly cheap these days, and sometimes not convenient. So for the effort to come here, I know everyone here appreciated your films. Please give these folks a big round of applause for joining us tonight. All right, there may be time as they're heading out to do your voting. You might be able to catch them with another question or two. But again, we do have to wrap up quick. I don't get to promote live music very often in this role at this festival. But if you or someone you know is in Japan this May, they can actually listen to Jen perform on May 8th at Médecins du Monde at Hakuju Hall in Shibuya, Tokyo. Mere walking distance from the Cherry Blossom Garden at Yogi Park. Yeah. Free plug. Free plug. If you heard the incredible music in the film, you can also watch it live as well. So, all right, last little bits of housekeeping here. You are welcome to keep your program with you, but if you don't want to keep it, you can drop those off at the ticket booth for folks to use tomorrow. And if you've appreciated this year's festival, any other previous festivals, or want next year's festival to be a success, please consider making a one-time or recurring donation to the Film Festival Society at visff.com/donate. Supporting filmmakers means the world to us, of course, and that's how you can help us achieve those goals. Another great way to support us in the Filmmakers is to come back tomorrow, again, for our Youth Showcase in the afternoon and our closing night show. Yes, we got some fans of the Youth Showcase, and they should be over there. Credible films by filmmakers 18 years old and younger, and maybe a great starting point to a career in film. So check that out, support that. And then come back for our closing night show at 7 p.m. featuring 9 different films. This includes another Q&A panel, our Goldies Awards, and a theater after party presented by ATSI 891. Again, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. Get your tickets at the box office before you leave, or get them online at visff.com. And if you can't make it, but you enjoyed it tonight, please tell a friend. I know tickets have been selling very quickly for tomorrow. We do want to get this place filled up and show all the love for the filmmakers. As mentioned, the festival team is now headed 3 minutes down the road to SIP Neighborhood Pub. If you're 19 years of age or older and like to join us for beverage and chat about the films tonight, by all means, kitchen open until 10:30 and the bar open later than that. On behalf of all of our crew and volunteers, thank you again for joining us. Thank you for your support of the festival and the craft of filmmaking. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon.